Yes, welcome back to the Sports Show. Of course, it's time to get to Barnsley's blockbusters, Rocky. This man is on fire.
Best
2 weeks in a row.
mate.
2 weeks in a row. He has called some unbelievable ones. Barnsley, how are you?
Very, very well, mate.
Mate, a bloke that can pick them like you can in the last couple of weeks, amazing, mate. Let's get down to it tonight. St Kilda sit in 9th spot, GWS in 2nd at Etihad Stadium.
Yeah, GWS by a long way, you'd think. St Kilda aren't quite there, are they?
Yeah, they are.
You reckon?
Yeah.
So who are you going for?
We'll see about that.
All right, who are you going for?
So you tip
Look, mate, everyone talks about the Crows and GWS being the top two teams. I reckon it's Crows and Daylight, but I don't see that GWS are that far above 4 or 5 other sides. They keep talking about potential and whatever. With GWS, I reckon that they're ready for a tumble, and the Saints play nice and tough. They can get them.
All right, Saturday night, the Crows, who are unstoppable at the moment, up against North Melbourne in 15th spot.
Yep.
Yep, don't even need to talk about it.
No problem.
Just the margin. Can you give us a
margin
number?
there?
Can you give us a number?
100 plus.
100
100 plus.
100 plus. Rocky?
Oh, 50 plus.
50 plus. Collingwood, 12th spot, finally with a win up against Carlton, who got a win as Barnsley predicted at the MCG.
Yep.
14th up against 12th.
And they're the best coach side in the AFL, Collingwood, aren't they? They really are. So,
You said here 2 weeks ago and say that's it for Bucks. He's gone.
I think there's a contract extension, isn't there?
oh, I don't know, mate, but it was a master stroke getting rid of Mick Malthouse by Eddie and getting Buckley in, and it's paid dividends for them, hasn't it? So
Yeah.
I'd think this week Carlton will belt them and put them back in their box, you don't?
Yeah, oh, well, Mick did a good job when he went to Carlton, so why not? What do you think?
I think the Witches' hats will be back this week, mate, and Collingwood will belt Carlton.
Collingwood to win, all right. Power, 5th spot, West Coast in 6th. A lot of talk at the moment about Power. Admittedly, it was only over Brisbane. You're only as good as who you play against. Possible top 4 finish by the end of the year for Power. Could you see it?
100%. I almost put them as top 2. You talk about GWS. Power's right in that conversation. They'll do a demolition job on West Coast. Dixon looks unstoppable. Ryder, Polak's running as well as he's ever run. They're the real deal, mate. They're the real deal.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. I think Ford are really showing some special signs.
All right, Geelong sitting in 3rd spot. Surprise loss on the weekend, of course. Gold Coast in 13th at Metricon.
You'd think Geelong will win that. Win it easily.
They have to bounce back. I'm a bit like Barnes. I thought Geelong were vulnerable against Collingwood for various reasons, but they'll bounce back this week.
All right, the Bulldogs sit in 7th spot. Richmond in 4th at Etihad. This will be a good one.
It's a great test for both clubs now, because we're sort of sitting there going, are Richmond going to fall back to the pack? The Bulldogs look like they're the real deal. They've lost a couple of close games. It was a ripper last Friday night. It really was with GWS. So hopefully the Bulldogs will win that one.
Yeah. Where do you sit with Bulldogs with the... I mean, they start a month late because they won the flag, and they've got a few injury problems that people don't seem to be concerned about. Tory Dixon and a few others that haven't played yet. I think they're around the mark again.
Well, no one tipped them to win the flag last year till about halfway through the 4th quarter of the actual grand final.
And they were slow starters.
Yeah,
last
so,
year.
you know, no one... And I guess that's the thing when people talk about Adelaide winning the premiership so early. You know, they had good years in 05 and 06, and West Coast come out and won the preliminary final. You got to see, with a team like Bulldogs and Geelong, I think they'll build and they'll actually play their best footy in September.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be writing off the Bulldogs. They might lose some games, but... they'll be playing good.
All right, Sunday sees, who would have thought, Sydney sitting in 18th spot with no wins up against Brisbane in 16th, but they're at the SCG.
Yeah, it's a strange one, that one.
Sold
I
out.
didn't. So's Shanghai. I didn't think that Carlton would beat Sydney, and I don't think Brisbane will. But
All right, Sydney for you, Rock.
Yeah, Sydney.
All right, Hawthorn 17th up against Melbourne in 8th at the MCG. Clarko is going to wield the axe.
he has to. He has to. They are terrible. They are slow. They're running in wet cement at the moment. Absolutely shocking football side at the moment.
When he wields the axe, Barnes, who goes?
I would be starting with the old ones. You can't play this game. You can't play AFL football now with a slow side. You can't do it. They need speed. I'd be getting the slowest men out and the fastest ones in if it was me. You got to play fast footy to win.
Oh, I reckon Clarko saw it coming and he jettisoned a couple of blokes that everyone thought, gee, they're a bit too good to go. I think he might have perhaps should have jettisoned some more, bottomed out and then gone again. But anyway, Fremantle in 11th, Essendon in 10th at Domain.
Who cares?
Right.
Honestly, mate. Honestly.
All right, well, if Essendon hit the wall. They did.
No, they haven't hit the wall.
They looked good Anzac Day.
Yeah.
They looked like they were running in mud last weekend.
They did. And it was only because Danaher didn't kick straight. So if he kicks straight, they'll win. If he doesn't, they'll lose.
Rocky?
Yeah, Fremantle.
Fremantle. All right, Barnesy, our blockbuster guest. See if he can go 9 for 9. Doubtful. 3 weeks running, but he may. Solomon's Carpets. Get down there and see him at Jeps Cross if you want some tips. Time for us to get to a break. Stay with us.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yes, they've just passed the baton for the last 4 minutes of the 400-metre relay. We have got a lot to get through. Rocky, I want to ask you a couple of quick questions.
Yep.
Crows are probably playing the best footy we've ever seen right now, almost unstoppable.
Yep.
Can they sustain it for the rest of the season?
Well, they've gone through a little period without Mitch McGovern, a little period without Josh Jenkins, and Eddie Betts kicked 1 goal out of 20-odd last night. They are, right now, unstoppable.
All right. The Power, I know it was a big win over Brisbane and people say, but it was just Brisbane. But look, they were a kick away from winning the showdown. They went to the edge with Greater Western Sydney, perhaps lost it a little bit in the last quarter. So the two heavyweights, they've pushed them.
Yep.
We've looked at them now, we say their confidence back, mojo's back. Are they a top 4 finishing team?
Right now, I think they are. Start of the year, I had them 10-14. Now, they've proved me wrong so far, and they're up to, I think they're a top 4 chance. They've just got their midfielders running really hard, their back line looks settled. Homch has made a super difference coming back into that side this year. Charlie Dixon's starting to get his hands on the footy. They're a top 4 side right now.
Yep. All right.
Yep.
No captain at the start of the year picked them to make the 8. So if you're going to go for your tips, don't ask the AFL captains.
No.
Robbie Gray.
Yep.
Sensational down the forward pocket. I think he's just flying under the radar. It might be a smoky for the Brownlow medal this year.
Yep.
Eddie Betts. If you had to pick right now, is it Betts or is it Robbie Gray?
Oh, mate, as a coach, I'll be picking Robbie Gray. I just think that he has that potential to go through the middle and not just play a role. He's as electrifying through the middle of the ground, bringing his teammates into the game as what he is when he goes forward and creates goals and sets up goals. Whereas Eddie Betts is a pure electric type player who can kick your goals, but can he go in the middle and keep the momentum? I don't think so. So for me, if I was coaching a side, I'd pick Robbie Gray.
All right. Charlie Dixon had a really good game on the weekend against Brisbane. Finally took strong marks, looked a little more than capable. Tex Walker, of course, on the other side of town. If you had to pick, is it night and day, Tex Walker?
Absolutely.
So is that the difference? I mean, is that why Betts is able to get what he's able to get and Lynch gets some? Because Walker is such a focal point and such a great leader in such a pivotal role?
Well, they have that spread. They've got Jenkins who plays pretty deep. They've got Eddie Betts who can do what he does. They've got Tom Lynch who gets up and down the ground like a midfielder. And then Tex has got so much space to work in. But not just that, mate, he can play.
All right, mate, you've got 2 minutes to fire your questions.
My first one to you, mate, is AFL coaches. There's 17 others now. Now, they've always found ways to rule. The third up comes in, so they spend time saying, OK, how do we beat this? Various rules have come in. They've got their own game plans, which work pretty much all the time. Now, I'm saying there's not a game plan in the AFL that can hold the Crows to under 20 goals right now. So the Carlton game plan won't work against the Crows. The Hawthorn game plan won't work against the Crows. How does a coach now find a way to beat the Crows?
I'd look at the Richmond first quarter and see what Richmond did to be able to be up 9 points at the end of the first quarter, and my group able to take some of that and maintain that over the course of the journey. You're not going to find it in a season, so I sense Adelaide have got an edge right now there. If you look at zoning when it came in 4 years ago, everyone was saying zones are so ugly, it's so slow, footy's boring to watch. The coaches have now worked out how to beat it, and we're now seeing an exciting brand of footy. So the coaches will find a way to stop it and stifle it and come over the top of it.
So you think they can deviate away from what they've trained for 6 months, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years? Hang on, this week we're playing the Crows, so all that's out the window.
Can't do it.
This way today we're going to do this.
No, you can't do it. You can't do it. That's why I'm saying that's why I think the Crows have got a big edge right now.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to something that they've spotted and continue to work on it and then flow it into next year.
Yeah.
And then they'll probably get them.
It's interesting, isn't it, that the Crows right now, I reckon, have got every other team thinking, how the hell?
I agree. I think some teams are thinking instead of trying to beat them, let's try and make sure we don't get beaten by such a big number.
Yeah.
I know you'd love to ask me some more questions, but you won't believe it. We're out of time, so we have to go. Then I don't look like a dill not answering the questions properly. Hope you've enjoyed the show, everybody. Look forward to your company next week. Bye, everybody.